Hey guys, as you remember last video, we did a walk around of the outside of the CJ2A. Today we're going to look under the hood. All right, under the hood we've got 134 cubic inch flathead, 4-cylinder, oil bath over here. We've got the original radiator, which is 80 years old, still doing its job. Oil filter canister. First we got a water pump here. Water pump's brand new, I just added that recently. It's an alternator. Over here on the left-hand side, back in 1946, they did not have VIN numbers. So those are data plates with my serial numbers on there. 60642 is a serial number for this vehicle. So since I've had the vehicle, I've done quite a bit in here. I've added electronic fuel pump. I've had all the wiring done. This is some wiring for a horn, which I've got, I just haven't added yet. On the flathead, I was having an issue with head gasket leaks. Replaced my head gasket twice and still got another leak. And I was talking with a friend of mine and he told me about these studs. These are called ARP racing studs. What makes them so good is that the thread on these studs is really fine compared to standard studs. So you can really clamp that thing down hard. And so far I haven't had any head gasket leaks since I switched to these studs. However, originally this oil canister was mounted on a bracket on these 3 studs and it sat right here. And after adding these ARP studs, I didn't feel like I had enough clearance here to add that bracket back, and I also didn't want to mess with the integrity of the head itself or the studs. So we just decided to move it over here. I had a friend just make this mount for me so we could mount it here. This is my oil bath. The oil bath basically cleans the air before it sends it to the carburetor. We're used to seeing an air filter sitting over a carburetor. This was a really good filter back in the day. Basically, there's about half an inch of oil that sits down at the bottom of this. Air comes through the back, it flows down, comes back up through this like steel wool filter. The oil catches the dirt and dust and traps it there before it sends the air back to the carburetor. So anyway, I cleaned that out recently. It's a big pain in the ass. Of course, that one hadn't been cleaned in probably 80 years. So I don't know, it was a big pain. I'm thinking about converting that to just an air filter, but for the time being, this one's pretty good. I've got it cleaned, so we're gonna stick with that for a while. One of the things about owning a vehicle that's 80 years old is that I don't know how many people have owned this or worked on it. But I can tell some guys that owned it tried to save a lot of money by just doing whatever they could, taking any shortcuts they could, pulling parts off of other Jeeps and using nails instead of cotter pins on when they were needed. It's just kind of a hodgepodge of mechanics history in there. It's kind of neat. Since I've owned it, I did add the alternator, replace the water pump. I had an issue with the pulley on the crankshaft down there, where the little Woodruff key in there had worn this groove to a point where it was kind of slipping. So I replaced the pulley down there. I don't know if it's really hard to see, but there's one groove in that pulley, whereas the one that I took off, you can see has 2 grooves. That was for an extra belt for that PTO, power takeoff unit we were talking about earlier. If you had a snow plow or something attached to the front of this, or hydraulic lift of some kind, that double grooved pulley would be required to hook that up. I don't plan on adding a snow plow. Maybe if I find a good deal on one, I might at some point, but for the time being, have that single groove pulley in there. Like I said, this is 80-year-old radiator. It is still working great. I've thought about replacing it, but I'm just gonna wait, see how much longer, how much life it has left in it. So that is an overview of under the hood of the CJ2A. You guys have a great day. We'll see you soon. Under the,